Shalom, everyone. Welcome back. I want to wish everyone a Rosh Chodesh. Today is Rosh Chodesh Tammuz, and it should be a good month for everyone. In the book of Mishlei, the book of Proverbs, it writes, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, which is commonly said about righteous people, that the remembrance of the righteous should be for a blessing. But then right after that, it says, V'shem Rishayim, and the name of the wicked, Yirkov, should rot. So why then do we have a Torah portion by the name of Korach this coming Shabbos? We know that we don't give our children names of wicked people, only of righteous people, because we don't like the name of the wicked person to be perpetuated. So therefore we obliterate their name. We don't have any Jews named by Amalek or Esav or Yishmael, or people like that. We don't name our children by those names. So why is it that we have a parsha named Korach? So the Rebbe brings out that Korach had a good side to him, even though he was a rebel against Moshe and he was punished very severely. But there was a good side to him. And what was that good side? That he aspired to be the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. Why did he want to become the high priest? Because he wanted to have that closeness to God, that purity, that holiness that a high priest had. And he emulated that and he wanted that. Of course, he had other bad qualities as well. But that for that reason alone, his name is perpetuated. And we find indeed that his children, many of his children, uh, did not follow after him. They did teshuvah, and therefore we have several psalms in the book of Tehillim that are named after his children. Mizmor Shirley, to perpetuate Korach, Mizmor Shirley, Livnei Korach Mizmor, etc. And we know that the prophet Samuel, came from Korach. So there was a good aspect to him. This coming Sunday is the third day of Tammuz, Gimel Tammuz, which in the Chabad calendar commemorates the Yortzeit of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, of blessed memory, Zecher Tzadik Livrocha, as we say. And we think about the legacy that the Rebbe left and what the Rebbe stood for. And the Rebbe was always able to see the good in everyone, even in Korach. And it's something that we should learn to do as well. It was interesting that many years ago, it was common for the members of the Israeli consulate in New York to come to the Rebbe, come to 770 Eastern Parkway, Chabad headquarters on Simchas Torah. They used to come. In fact, Benjamin Netanyahu used to come every year. And all of the members of the consulate would come, religious, non-religious. It didn't make any difference. They all came and they joined together with Chabad for Simchas Torah. It was a very auspicious time. So at one time, the Rebbe's Gabayim, his attendants, noticed that among those who were there from the consulate was none other than the famous jurist Chaim Cohen, who was a member of the Supreme Court, the Israeli Supreme Court. He was in New York doing some work at that time. Now, Chaim Cohen, interestingly, came from a very religious background. His father, I believe, was a rabbi. He came from a very religious, observant family. But he left the way and he became a very ardent secular Zionist. And here he was in 770. Well, the Gabayim didn't quite know what to make of it. Should they give him an honor of carrying the Torah like everybody else or not? To make things worse, during this time, it was in the 1970s, there was a very big upheaval over the whole issue of who is a Jew, the conversion issue, that Israel should recognize non-Orthodox conversions. And Chaim Cohen wrote a famous response for the Israeli Supreme Court about that, in support of it, that they should recognize non-religious conversions. The Rebbe, of course, was very upset about that. The Rebbe spoke very strongly and did everything he could to change the law so that it would not happen. And Chaim Cohen was among the forefront of those who wanted to keep the law. So everyone wanted to know what is going to happen. Will the Rebbe give Chaim Cohen an aliyah, give him the Torah or not? Well, the Rebbe amazingly called over one of the Gabayim, one of the attendants, and said, I want to pay for Chaim Cohen's getting one of the verses for Atar Resa at the beginning of the Hakafas. Everyone was astounded. So Chaim Cohen came up to the Amud, came up to the stand, and belted it out as loud as was Atar Resa Ladas, Ki Hashem Hu Elokim Enad Bilvadai. And everyone answered after him. It was amazing. And then when they took the Torahs out of the ark, after again, the Rebbe said, pointed out, give Chaim Cohen his Torah. So Chaim Cohen held the Rebbe's own Torah and danced with it fervently in 770. People were astounded by this. They were amazed by this. Afterwards, did anything change? Not that we could see. Did Chaim Cohen change his viewpoint or change his stance in any way to support Torah values? It didn't seem that he did to his dying day. But the fact is that the Rebbe showed tremendous love for him, tremendous warmth to him, and a closeness to him. And they asked the Rebbe why, and he said, because he's a Jew, because he's a fellow Jew. And every Jew has inside of them the Pintel Yid, the essential quality of godliness that is found in every single Jew. And that is really an important quality. This is something the Rebbe taught us very, very much above all, above everyone. So it's so important that we always should look at the good, even if we can't really see it on the outside, and even if afterwards we don't see it, but it's there anyways. This is an important lesson that the Rebbe taught us, and it should be a valued lesson for everyone. This is a foundation of the Chabad philosophy, the Chabad movement, of Yisrael, to love your fellow Jew as yourself and to draw them closer to God and to Judaism. Candlelighting tonight on Friday night in San Diego will be at 7:39. I want to wish you all a good Shabbos.